You're listening to the Lanterns Radio Network. We are the network dedicated to empowering the individual, illuminating the truth, defending American exceptionalism, and inspiring future generations. Stay connected and get involved at lanterns.buzz for great radio. Get commentary and news of the day. Lanterns.buzz.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Defenders of American Exceptionalism on the Lanterns Radio Network. My name is Dylan Lyles. That guy over there is Aaron Priest.
What's up?
What is up, man? In case y'all haven't figured this out already, we are actually running live tonight. We're going schnazzy. We have upgraded and stepped up, and bosses finally decided to let us out of the gate and say, you guys are big boys now. Get out there and play for real. And so here we are.
It's probably the worst idea ever. Not on our behalf, but yeah, on their behalf. Because this is going to be fun for us, but yeah. So, with that in mind, let's talk about bad ideas and Tomi.
Yes, we have an awesome show, guys, lined up for you tonight, and we are going to start. We weren't going to officially. Aaron and I and a couple of other, higher-ups had decided we were not actually going to discuss the whole Tomi Laren thing.
And we're not going to make a big deal out of it. We're not going to drag it out into, 3 sessions. But it is worth, actually bringing up because it is kind of a big deal. I mean, to an extent. There are some factions of it that are worth discussing, but it's not worth... I really don't even know how to put this. Honestly, in my opinion, she is not worth talking that much about.
No, she's not. She's not. However, what she said is worth discussing and at least clarifying. And I know other people have, but we wanted to make sure that it was understood on our end too. You know what I mean? It's kind of one of those. I hearken it to the whole, not to speak is to speak. You know what I mean? And if we don't. Everybody else may give their answer and may have their answer and may believe what they believe. And you can assume that we do too. But you can also go, well, they haven't said anything yet. So, having said all that.
And we don't all have to agree. We don't all have to see eye to eye. And I mean, contrary to what social media may tell you, people can have differing opinions. And, but
we wanted to at least express, everybody else was, throwing their 2 cents in. So we're like, why not us?
Yeah, exactly.
Works for us. So in case everybody is either over it and forgotten by now or not even aware of it, about a week or so ago, Tomi Laren, who has a show on The Blaze and is a fairly prominent, what would you call her? She's on the right. Voice. She's a voice on the right for sure, for millennials, big time. She was on with The View, and basically her quote says that, quote, I am pro-choice and here's why. I'm a constitutional. Someone that loves the Constitution. I'm someone that's for limited government, she said. Quote, so I can't sit here and be a hypocrite and say I'm for limited government, but I think the government should decide what women do to their bodies. End quote. So basically, she's saying that, for some reason, there's this weird thing where she thinks that the government telling you that killing of a child, of an unborn baby, is apparently hinging on, hinging on your rights. And I don't. I'm sorry. I've heard other people say it, and I'm going to echo it. The Constitution clearly says life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You can't have the pursuit of happiness, and you can't have liberty if you're not alive.
What?
I know. Newsflash, folks. Tonight is a night of unexpected things. Everyone's learning something here. Yeah.
So you mean they all go hand in hand and stuff?
or child in womb, however you want to classify it. But yes, it does. It all kind of goes hand in hand, and
that's pretty much what I was going to say. I'm very libertarian in many of my views, and I believe that the entire purpose of the government is to preserve the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, just like Dylan mentioned. And obviously, life is the first of those three, because if you don't have life, then obviously you can't have liberty or the pursuit of, well, anything.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to pursue something when you're
so that's kind
dead.
of a primary thing. And yes, I understand, people wanting or being pro-choice. Everybody has their own opinion, whatnot, and whatever. Okay. But it all boils down to that is a life.
Yep.
Whether it's at 1 week or 36 weeks or what, I mean,
yeah.
I'm not going to debate abortion with people, because there's really no point at this juncture, because there's so much emotion that's injected into it that people don't really speak about logic. It's just about what they feel.
Yep.
Which is just about like any other topic.
It's
anymore,
everything else. Yeah, exactly. Well, like you said, it is a life. There isn't a woman on this planet who's given birth to a toaster. There isn't one.
Well,
you may have given birth to some ugly kids, but not one of them have given birth to a toaster or to a Volkswagen or to a vacuum cleaner.
Well, have you listened to every episode of Alex Jones?
No.
There may have been one instance, and you haven't taken the time to listen to what Alex Jones has to say.
I stand corrected. I will do my research, and we'll come back later at a later date, and we'll revisit this for sure. But no, we wanted to throw that out there and to kind of use it actually as a point of reference and kind of a segue into the actual lead topic for this first segment here, that I actually got tickled by. All of our sources we've got, we'll post them on our Facebook page, Defenders of American Exceptionalism at Facebook. This is from the Daily Wire. Scientists have discovered that there's actually a flash of light at the moment of conception. Through some kind of high-tech, finagled technology, they've been able to, during the testing and everything of when a man and a woman really love each other, they give each other a special hug. No, there's. So I felt like I needed to go through the birds and bees there for a moment, but
unless they had too much fluoride in their tap.
Get off our radio, Sorry. Alex. Go away. Leave us alone. But no, scientists were able to, through, in the lab and messing with stuff, that they've discovered that there's, quote, a breathtaking flash of light the moment the conception occurs. So I'm sorry. You don't get a spark like that for an inanimate object. Does that make sense?
You science denier.
I know. No, we're going to get into science denying in the next segment here in a little bit. Don't jump ahead. But seriously, there was a dadgum ad. There was a flash of light. Let's see. The researchers say that the size of the flash of light provides valuable information about the health of the egg. Long or the short is the main reason they were testing this stuff is basically by being able to see the flash of light when this happens, basically shows how good and how viable the egg is. And, so that way they can have more of a guarantee for those, people who have to go through in vitro and things of that nature. More high rate, high risk pregnancies.
Yeah.
Which, not for nothing. I don't know if anybody has any experience or has any, has dealt.
As a matter of fact, I do.
With in vitro, that junk ain't cheap.
No,
for hit or miss is
that's something you want every bit of the odds in your favor because
absolutely.
You're talking between $10,000 and $20,000 a pop.
Yep, and that's with insurance.
Yeah, because insurance doesn't cover it. It's considered an optional or whatever.
Yeah, the whatever.
Because my ex-wife and I were going to do that, and actually she just did that for the second time with her husband now, and they're on their way to having their second kid.
Wow, it works. It's a good thing it works, but this is to help provide that that certainty. Oh yeah, this is to help provide that certainty. Because, like we said, it's really hit or miss. It's a lot of stress on the mom and on the the dad as well. But the key of it is why would you go through all this trouble, and why would you be pushing so hard to be able to make sure that it's a viable egg and come up with all these extra things to make it a viable egg if she was going to be giving birth to a Volkswagen? Do you see what I'm saying? I mean,
or a goat.
Yeah, or a goat. Well, have you seen some people's kids? They look like they gave birth to a goat. But seriously, you don't put that much effort into something. You don't put that much feeling and thought and work into for absolutely nothing. You know what I mean? If there was even a remote chance that they were going to go give birth, literally, and I don't know why the toaster's in my head. Maybe I'm hungry. I don't know why it's still there. But for a toaster, you're going to come in for a toaster, or like Aaron said, a goat, or a piece of lumber, or a key to a 1981 Yugo. You know what I mean? You don't know what you're getting. That's different. These people are doing testing and try and make sure that it works viable to make a baby.
Well, and the sad part is there's so many people out there that so easily have children that seem to not want them. That I think that's what kind of covers up this issue. They don't understand because they haven't been through this issue.
Yeah.
They haven't seen someone who struggles with fertility. They haven't seen the pain that goes into a relationship whenever trying so hard for a child.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I've been there and done that in past relationships. It's not something it's not something I would wish on anybody. And no. You're right. Some people take it for granted.
Oh yeah.
And what ends up happening is when Joe and Jill down the road turn around and, they had a great night of drinking and partying and all this fun stuff. And then they turn around and they go lay down and in the biblical sense. And then they turn around and wake, 2 weeks later, Jill's got her head in the toilet. She's calling Jim up or Joe or I don't know. It could have been both that night. Who knows? It might have been a wild night.
Why don't we go with yeah. Hey.
It could have been, Jim, Joe, whatever. Whoever the guy was again, I lost my train of thought there, but you get my point.
There's
she
a lot
calls
of
him up.
Well,
yeah, these kids, millennials nowadays, holy smokes! But no, I mean they get to a point where then she's calling him up and saying, guess what? And suddenly you're faced with a responsibility that you weren't paying attention to, and yes, you made a mistake, but now this is different than. This is on the same lines as drinking and driving, but on the extreme of it. You know what I mean? You choose to drink and drive, you risk killing yourself or someone else, and that's irreparable and never coming back from. You know what I mean? On the other side of that scale, to me, is one night stands, getting knocked up, blah 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 blah. Having not even just one night stands, having unprotected sex without the idea or thought that you might bring a life into this.
Well, to put it simplest, it all boils down to the laws of physics. With every action, there's an equal or opposite reaction.
Exactly.
I mean,
and everybody will sit there and argue. Oh, well, you can't do that. What if there's incest or the life of the mother or rape or what? Personally, and this is just me, and people can argue, and they will. To me, it's still a life. Now, I would like to think that I'm a bigger person. That if, God forbid, my wife got raped and she ended up getting pregnant from it, I would like to think that I'm a good enough person inside and a strong enough person inside to be able to at least carry this child to term and put it up for adoption. At least. If not, carry it and take care of it as my own. Because I honestly and firmly believe that children are special. Regardless. I mean, because like we were just talking about, there are some people who, for no logical reason whatsoever, cannot have kids. And there are some people who should never have children, are popping them out left and right.
Well, and that's the thing. You have the rule, and then you have the exception to the rule. Mm-hmm. And what we're talking about is the rule, whereas everyone else who doesn't want to that honest dialogue wants to throw out the exception to the rule.
Yep.
And instead of actually coming to a consensus on the main point at hand.
Yeah. I get a little touchy when it comes to this. I mean, it's not that, and I don't care if you as a person like Tomi, she believes in being, in being pro-choice. Far be it for me to tell you what to do. You know what I mean? As of right now, abortion is legal in the United States. Okay?
Yeah.
I can't, it's legal. I can't tell you not to do it. It's not my place to tell you not to do it. The law's there. Now, it doesn't mean I'm not going to try and change it. Doesn't mean I'm not going to try and vote to change it. Doesn't mean I'm not, because I will. I don't want it to happen. But it's still legal. So again, far be it for me to tell you what to do. If that's what you want to do, knock yourself out. I would just prefer personally that you don't use it as if it has to be done, it needs to be rare. And not because you don't know how or choose not to protect, against said thing.
And women, I mean, you might have a son and you might decide to grow up and become a man and let your son become a girl and do this together as a bonding experiment.
Bonding experience?
Yeah.
I don't know if
I know that sounds crazy. I know that sounds crazy. I know that sounds way out of left field, but there is actually a story that we are going to get to where that actually happened.
Yeah, it's folks, we've got some awesome. Well, and I call it awesome. This is some stuff that's you might want to get the duct tape.
It's awe-inspiring.
It is very awe-inspiring. It's exactly as the word is. You're going to need to get the duct tape together. We're going to take a break. Y'all stick around. We got some awesome stuff coming up for you again. This is the Defenders of American Exceptionalism on the Lanterns Radio Network. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are the Defenders of American Exceptionalism on the Lanterns Radio Network. I'm Dylan, and that's Aaron. We are live, folks, on Spreaker, having a ball, cutting a rug.
Fun.
I don't know. I literally had a moment where I was lost for words, and I was like, what do I say?
Did you say cutting a rug?
Cutting a rug, yeah.
1974?
That's
Oh.
Yes, it is. Folks, if you need to reach us for whatever reason, if you want to correct me as Aaron is trying to do right now, you can reach us Facebook, Defenders of American Exceptionalism. You can also reach us at Twitter at DOAE Show. You can reach Aaron at AFVETTE03. Aha. I said it too. That's on Twitter. You can reach me at Dylan Lyles on Twitter as well. So we've got stuff. Let's move in. Keep this ball rolling. Live, apparently, we're learning quick that live has a time thing that we have to maintain. Yeah. So keep the ball rolling. Okay.
But now we get to head down under, down to Australia.
Oh
where
my!
Mother and son.
Wait! What was that? Oh,
that was the world's worst.
Oh my God, that was horrific! Don't do that again. I thought you had a stroke for a second. Stop it.
I may have.
If you're gonna do Australian, you have to. There's certain things you have to. You got to talk. Hold on. Now I'm gonna try and do it. I'm gonna screw up. Crikey, there's words you got to say them a certain way. You go down there and you say hello.
You sound like Bono. If Bono got hit in the head with a hammer.
Bono had a tumor. All right, let's forget the accents, folks. We're going to edit that out.
Yeah, that's going to be forgotten now.
Yeah, that's going to haunt you for every job interview you do from now on.
But you know what else is going to haunt people?
This next story.
Yes. In Australia, a woman and her son actually decided together to do a gender transition. I'm sorry. Let me make sure that I don't say it wrong because I don't want to offend anyone or hurt anyone's feelings.
No, they had an incredible journey. That's what this says right here. It was an incredible journey. Apparently, a mother and a son have decided to now go through the effort of now becoming father and daughter.
You know what?
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned earlier that I'm very libertarian in many of my views, and
mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that this shouldn't be allowed. If this is what people want to do, and especially because this isn't in America, so whatever. If people want to cut off their tallywhacker and become whatever.
Really? Wait a minute. You just busted on me about the whole cutting a rug thing, and you just referred to it as a tallywhacker? We're going to move on. We're going to have a conversation later. You and I are going to have a conversation later. Continue. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I think you left off at cutting off tallywhacker. Go ahead.
Yes, before I was so rudely interrupted for using my appropriate language. Didn't mean to cut a rug on you. Whatever. So...
Not going to let this die.
Anyway, it never will.
They never will. No, it won't. Yeah, long and the short, like I said before, and as goofy as this sounds, and what Aaron was trying to get out is, again, if you honestly feel that, say you were born on the outside, you were born a male, and you spent your entire life. Bruce Jenner is a perfect example of this. Okay? Swears up and down, even through all the Olympics, I'm a woman, I'm a woman, I'm a woman, I'm a woman, I'm a woman. Okay? If you have gone through life, you've experienced life, you've gotten to a point where you can logically and intellectually come to a decision. Far be it from any other person to disagree with you. Unless that obviously hurts somebody else. Okay? But if you decide that you are no longer a male, you are actually a female, you want to go through the money and the time and the pain and the surgeries and the hormone therapy and to be a woman, knock yourself out. I have no problems with any of this. The problem that I have with this is the kid.
That one of them is 15. Yeah.
15 years old.
Yeah. And that's what, if you're not old enough to drive a motor vehicle, if you're not old enough to vote, if you're not old enough to buy cigarettes, if you're not old enough to make these decisions because your brain hasn't fully developed enough, then obviously you're not old enough to decide what gender you think you should be.
Yep.
Now, I guess let me rephrase that. You can decide what gender you think you should be, but you are not old enough to make the informed decision as to going and getting a surgery or putting yourself on hormones to become a different gender.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, you can do the surgery, you can do all this stuff, but your DNA still says that you are a male or female, whatever you were born as. That is science.
Oh, yeah. And where are you, science deniers? Jerks.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you on that one. Because not for nothing, like you said, this kid is 15 years old. I got this. If you are convinced, even at 15, you're convinced, oh, I'm really a girl, I'm not a boy. All right, fine. But until you grow up and get out of my house and actually live life, then you can come and back and tell me and say, well, Dad, I think I'm still a girl. Okay. Congratulations. Well, I don't know what you want me to do about it, but okay. That's fine. I'm good with that. But you can't do that at 15 years old. Like Aaron said, if you're not old enough to devote to buy alcohol, that's where I'm at. Even if you aren't old enough to buy a drink, you can't go and fight for your country. Sorry. I'm not going to what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not going to cradle you. I'm not gonna help me out here. What's the word I'm looking for?
I think the word you're looking for is Cissexist.
No, we're not there yet. No, we're not. We're almost there. That's a fun one. Okay. No, cultivate. I get not cultivate.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna encourage it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Until you get out of my house and are able to make decisions for yourself, I'm not going to encourage you. If your outside says you're a boy, I'm sorry, you're a boy. Until you get out of my house and pay your own bills and have your own job and have lived life to be able to really decide and think instead of just base everything off of emotion, until that day happens, you're a boy. Sorry. And if you come in here dressing like a girl and all this other stuff, then we're going to have problems.
You live under my roof, you live under my rules.
Yes, I am a jerk like that.
I remember growing up hearing that.
Oh, yeah.
I remember growing up hearing that all my life, and, well, not all my life, for the first 17 years of my life, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know. It's
for us, for people to be parents. Now, apparently, if you're not bisexual, you're transphobic, so...
Wait, what?
Yeah, if apparently now... if you're not,
wait a minute. Say that again.
If you are not a bisexual, then you're transphobic.
Huh.
But you wouldn't understand that because you're a cissexist.
You keep saying this word, and I don't like this word. Hold on. I'm going to ask you about that word.
Because it doesn't sound like a word.
It doesn't sound like a word. No, I've got one more thing. Before we go into this sexist thing, jerk?
Cissexism.
Shut up. I have one more question, one more thing I want to bring out about this thing. About this guy, this lady and her son wanting to switch genders, okay? Just throwing this out here for everybody to just kind of gnaw on this for a second, okay? The mom's name is Erica, who now goes by Eric. Way to swing for the fence and think outside the box on name changes, too. Anyway, the quote, and this is what stuck out to me in this whole thing, okay? The mom said, well, I guess soon to be dad. Says, quote, the only regret that I have is not being educated sooner about what transgenderism is so I could do it sooner, end quote. Now, if you honestly believe and have believed, as long as this person said, this person said she's done it for years. Somebody like Bruce Jenner said they've done it for years. Why is it that you need to be educated? If you've really deep down have felt, I'm really not a man, I'm really a woman, or in this person's case, the other way around, what do you need to be taught? That that you could go and do this? I'm sorry, but if you haven't been watching the news lately about people like turning themselves into, I've seen Ripley's Believe It or Not, where people will, go through surgeries to make themselves look like dragons and everything else. You can't tell me you didn't know this was available. Okay?
One word, RuPaul.
Thank you. That. What was the other one? Actually,
that's been going on since what, like 1986?
Well, I was gonna say, let's take it a step back further. This is gonna show my age and broad spectrum of life. There was one called Divine. Fat guy, you might remember it. Big. Remind me if you looked at him, her, it. He resembled to me the secretary from the Drew Carey Show. Remember, with the big
Mimi.
Yes.
Mimi.
Yes. With the to me looked just and not exactly the same, but close. Had the big hair, had the makeup, whoo. It was something else. But yeah, you've got those people. They knew. They didn't need to be taught. They didn't need to have somebody come by and go, "Hey, if you want to do this, you can get attention." Oh, did I just let the cat out of the bag there? That's the real reason why these people do this stuff?
Yeah.
This is insane to me. Why'd you... Oh. Where's my duct tape? I need my duct tape. I think my head's starting to crack here. Okay. All right. You called me a dirty word a minute ago.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, you think I did because you don't understand it.
No, I don't.
Because of your Cissexism.
My Cissexism.
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 See, now I'm figuring out how to say it.
There you go.
It up.
But on
Cissexism.
Alrighty then. All right, enlighten us.
If you're
Mr.
not
smart guy.
This week in feminism, if you are not bisexual, you're transphobic. According to Everyday Feminism's transgender feminist, because apparently that's a title now.
Huh.
Riley
How
J.
did you get
Dennis.
that gig, by the way? How would you get that gig?
First you have to be transgender, which I guess cuts you out.
Maybe that's what it is. You have to have that out the gate. Because I was... Shut up. I was going to say, because I've been all over Indeed.com, and I've never seen anything with that kind of a title before.
Hiring transgender feminist.
I've never seen that anywhere. But I'm sorry.
I think that's like once you're moving through the ranks, you're already at the company and you're established, and you're like... And they're like, so what do you call yourself? And then... They get tired of saying, I'm an administrative assistant.
That might
to
be
all
it.
you secretaries out there who are going to send me hate mail,
you know where to find them. Anyway, what is this?
You can find me at Dylan Lyles.
Oh, there we go. That's okay. I got a forward button.
So
anyway,
if you have a quote unquote genital preference and are not sexually attracted to both a penis and vagina, you are transphobic. And as he interchangeably uses Cissexist. That is such a tough word to say. That's the worst tongue twister word ever.
It is.
And it's just one word.
I'm assuming that the cis part, in case anybody isn't aware of, I think cis refers to
one.
Yeah, it means the one, which basically if you're heterosexual, basically, right?
Yeah.
And so
basically.
So we're going to can't believe we're like I used to break words down like this when it was, Latin or something like that where you find the root word and junk, but this is ridiculous.
I think it just means that you only have one sexual preference. I guess I could take to Google and
yeah.
Cisgender. Oh, that's one word.
Yeah, we ain't got time for that. We ain't got time for that.
Denoting or relating to a person whose sense of personal identity and gender corresponds with their birth sex.
Oh, God. This is... All right. Oh, God almighty. This person... What is this person's name? Riley J. Dennis. Transgender feminist. Hoo-hoo. Quote, I'm trying to show that preferences for women with vaginas over women with penises might be partially informed by the influence of cissexism society, end quote. Aaron, I'm going to ask you a question.
You probably don't want my answer.
No. I in this one you will need your answer. You've been married before, right? Well, wait a minute. Sorry, hold on.
Twice.
Hold on. No. Start this different. You identify as a male, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You would identify yourself, at least at the moment, as heterosexual, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So, ergo, you have been with women, or at least bodies identifying as women.
Yeah.
Before, correct? Okay. Have you ever been with a body identifying as a woman that had a penis?
Not to my recollection, but there were some
nights that we don't talk about. Oh, I feel a therapy session coming on later. Yeah, you know what's funny? I've been married.
I really liked the whiskey.
Some things were done, actions made, memories forgotten. No, I've been married a time or 12 myself. I've also have identified as a male and been with bodies who've identified as female, and et cetera, et cetera. And I've never,
because you're transphobic.
Apparently, I didn't realize I would. As bad off as it sounds, I don't understand how a woman can have a penis. It's society's fault that a gay man isn't into a biological woman with a vagina. End quote. That was also coming from Riley.
See, that's the thing. Phobic comes from, which means irrational fear of. I'm not afraid of any person based on what they identify as or what they have down yonder. It just comes to a point where it's like, okay, you're stupid. I'm sorry.
Bless
your
retarded heart.
I can't church it up anymore. I'm sorry. Joe Dirt has left the building.
It's
just
so stupid.
It really is.
It's
and that's
stupid.
what I keep coming to this loss of words, because I'm flabbergasted at the level of stupidity our society has dropped to. But
it's nuts what we got going on here, folks. We're gonna get ready to go and take a break. I just messed up on the music, and you didn't get to hear that. We're gonna take a break and try and collect ourselves. You're listening to the Defenders of American Exceptionalism on the Lanterns Radio Network.
You're listening to the Lanterns Radio Network. We are the network dedicated to empowering the individual, illuminating the truth, defending American exceptionalism, and inspiring future generations. Stay connected and get involved at lanterns.buzz for great radio. Get commentary and news of the day. Lanterns.buzz.
Welcome back, everybody. You were listening to the Defenders of American Exceptionalism on the Lanterns Radio Network. My name is Dylan. That guy over there is Aaron. We are live on the Spreaker. You can reach us at Defenders of American Exceptionalism on Facebook, DOAE Show at Twitter. Drop us a line. Say hello. Tell us how fabulous we're doing. And use the word fabulous, too. For some reason, with the
fabulous.
Fabulous! The stories we've had today, we deserve fabulous. By God, I want to hear it. I want to hear it, and I want to hear it from you. Oh.
These stories are the reasons that Big Pharma still exists.
Or one of the reasons why Big Pharma still exists.
Yeah.
Oh, folks, it just doesn't get any better than this. I'm sorry, but
it does. It does, because if you get
I don't.
One of the ultimate stories about participation trophies from someone who obviously deserves it You know, someone. So I want to ask you something, okay?
Okay.
If someone tells you that they have received a lifetime achievement award, who do you picture getting something like that? Who do you picture getting a lifetime
achievement award? Do they have to be living or dead? I guess they have to be alive in order to get it, right?
Let's just say hypothetically living. Someone who is still alive.
Okay.
Yeah.
And be okay. Let's see. Well, he's dead. Put me on a spot here. But it would be somebody.
It doesn't have to be a certain person.
Well, I was going to say, like the Pope. I guess you could a lifetime achievement award. I mean,
not
that he would accept
older,
it. And, yeah, but he's lived his life. I mean, I would if we could go back to being dead. There's like Gandhi.
Okay. Well,
what I mean. Mother Teresa.
Well, let me make this a little easier for you. What about if somebody said that Chelsea Clinton got a lifetime achievement award?
I'm sorry, what?
Chelsea Clinton.
Hold on. Chelsea Clinton. We're talking the daughter of the former president Bill and Hillary Clinton. Chelsea Clinton.
Yes.
That Chelsea Clinton got a lifetime achievement award.
Yes.
For what? For what? I'm sorry. She's her late 30s, correct? Something
37 to be exact.
37.
37-year-old mother of two.
37. Woo, is that what the accomplishment's for? That she mothered two children and made it to the age of 37?
Is receiving the award for her work with Alliance for a Healthier Generation, which empowers kids to develop lifelong health habits. This is according to Variety.
So, okay.
There's going to be a Power of Women luncheon on April 21st.
I wonder what they're eting. Is it bad that it's the only thing out of this story? At this point, the only thing I'm worried about is food.
You almost made a beaver joke.
I almost did. That's nasty. But all right, let's try and break this down just a moment here. So you say she's 37, okay?
Yes.
So she's working. Let's assume that she's been at this job her entire working career, okay? Being the president's daughter, bringing all this stuff with college and everything else, she would get out, let's say, roughly 25 after college? I don't know. I've never been to college. But let's say 25, okay? So that means, theoretically, she's been at this company 12 years, give or take.
Yeah.
12 years, and that puts you as a lifetime achievement?
But she worked for the Clinton Foundation. And I mean, it had to have been hard for her to get a job there at the Clinton Foundation.
I hear they're very strict over there.
Yeah. It's almost like you've got to be a Clinton or something to make it far there.
She's not a Clinton anymore. Well, she is. She carries the last name because God knows no one would know who the hell she was if she changed her name to the guy she married.
Hey.
Who is she married to, by the way?
Some guy.
That ding. There you go. That's why she didn't change her name. We don't know her husband, and she would disappear in obscurity.
Yeah.
I don't.
Which, I mean, I can't say too much because there are other, like Jessica Chastain, whoever that is, and Gayle King, whoever that is, and Blake Lively. I know who she is. She's married to Ryan Reynolds, and I like her movies.
Yeah, nobody cares. Nobody cares.
But
now, here's my gig. Okay, so
but they're all getting these awards too.
You know what? You know why I bet you she got it? She got the Lifetime Achievement Award?
Because her mother lost the election and everybody
No. You know what? It was because of her fabulous, we completely forgot it, her amazing stretch and her career at MSNBC. Remember that when she got that contract and junk? It was like a boatload of money and nothing happened.
Yeah, well, they also have Rachel Maddow. So.
Way to raise the bar, y'all. I mean, I don't know if you could get any higher than that.
A Clinton, apparently.
Yeah, apparently. That is almost as stupid as our next story. Next story we're going to talk about. So I'm going to ask you something. If and this example might touch a little close to home, so don't get upset. But if you knew an alcoholic, would you give him alcohol? Would you send him into a bar? Even if it was apple juice or orange juice or water? If you had a known alcoholic, would you have him be your DD?
Well, I mean,
and we're not talking like 30 years of sobriety. We're talking let's say comfortably. Let's say maybe 5 years max.
No, I wouldn't want to expose him to that environment. Speaking as an alcoholic myself.
And why? Why? And that's why I knew it was touchy going there. But why would you not want to do that? Why is the bad idea? That adds too much temptation. Exactly. Temptation, right?
Yeah.
So if I turned around and let's carry it a weird step further, and believe me, I'm not a fan of this. It's just the insanity just makes my head explode. So a man is arrested for being a pedophile and goes to jail. What would be the what would you think they would do to try and rehab the guy out of being it? If there's a possibility, like there's AA for alcoholics. What do you think they would do for pedophiles?
Speaking as a former corrections officer, I would say put him in general population.
Hold on, stop. Thank God you said correctional officer, because I swear to God, I thought you were getting ready to say as well as a former sex offender. I swear, I thought you were. I'm like, dude, that's not even funny to joke about. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No.
Scared the
Says the guy who makes a joke out of it.
Holy
wow.
Smoke.
You're a horrible person. Horrible person.
God, all right, go ahead.
Face.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Speaking as a former corrections officer, you jerk, I would say the best rehab would be to put them in general population, because
and let everybody else know what they did, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So you wouldn't, as a former correctional officer, would not take these lowlifes and give them child sex dolls.
No, because that would be stupid. That would be like finding all the murderers in prison and saying, "Hey, here's some knives. Work out your issues."
Here you go, guys. I thought you were bored, so I brought you a little something.
We know you're in here for killing people, so this is how I think it would be best for you to work it out. Here's a knife.
Show us on the doll where you're aggravated. Poke it really hard with this.
Play Duck, Duck, Goose.
Eeny, meeny, miny. Damn it! Oh, this is just... Oh, good Lord have mercy. Yeah, apparently people overseas, and this is like... where is this? Norwegian cops reveal that they are increasingly seizing creepy childlike sex dolls made mostly in Hong Kong. More than 20 of them have been impounded by custom officials in the past 6 months. So, I everybody's like, well, at least it's a doll. It's not really a kid. That doesn't make it any better. Jerk.
No.
It really doesn't. It doesn't help the situation. It doesn't make me feel any better. I'm sorry, the guy's not going to... I'm not comfortable with that.
You know the joke that I made about the handing murderers knives in prison and saying work out your issues? Mm-hmm. That seems more logical than this.
It does. Oddly enough, it does. I personally, and this is one of the few things I'm very protective of children. If people haven't figured this stuff out, I'm very, very, very protective when it comes to kids. I don't appreciate treating them. I'm not saying don't discipline them. I'm not saying don't guide them and raise them. But there is a point. I.e. pedophilia. I'm sorry. You take the guy's found guilty. You take him out. 35-cent bullet.
Yeah.
Time to meet your maker, chief. There's no point hanging around. You know what I mean? If you can, and again, everybody's going to be so mad about this. You in the trial now. If the trial comes up and it says, "Hey, we find him to be insane," da 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 da. All right, fine. Try and rehab him, blah 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 blah. But don't let him out. You know what I mean? But if it's a blatant thing where you just can't keep your hands to yourself, well, enjoy the sun, because this is the last time you're going to see it. I don't do well with that. And to even have this stuff is just, it makes my skin crawl. It just makes my skin crawl. I'm beyond PO'd. And Aaron is so happy, as we are going to quickly wrap this up here in a minute. We're going to go on to our snowflake of the week. And Aaron is not happy with me. Partly because of the fact that we've just segued from pedophiles and using, child sex dolls in prison and, sneaking them in.
Not happy because the words that I want to use are not
we're live
allowed.
And he wants to use words that we're not allowed to use. And basically what we're going to touch on. Oh yeah, no, we haven't. Anybody who's not aware of it, of what they've actually been starting, and actually everybody should have heard this by now, of the Rockville, Maryland rape of the 14-year-old girl by the two illegal immigrants, the 18 and 17-year-old guys, who I'm not even going to name because it's pointless. Neither one of those three people, neither the girl that was raped or the two rapers, are the snowflakes.
Rapists.
I'm actually foregoing the whole rape thing because it just sucks. It's so terrible. And not for nothing, everybody and their mother has already discussed it. This kind of goes back to the whole Tomi, Laren, and her thing. Everyone's touched on it. I don't care. I've already made my piece on everything, and I've made it very clear on where I stand. You don't do that. And I don't care what the age is. Rape and child abuse is not something I take very lightly. I'm not a happy person when it comes to that. But what got me on this, what made me pick our snowflake of the week to be this certain individual, is because it literally is the epitome of a snowflake. Okay? And the person I'm referring to is none other than the superintendent for the Rockville High School district. What is that district called? I don't even know. I'm trying to find it. I had my spot and I lost it. I was doing so
Montgomery
good.
County
That's it.
Public
Montgomery
Schools Superintendent.
Yeah. Superintendent Dr. Jack Smith. Okay? Dr. Jack Smith, and I can't
punch this guy in the throat.
I was getting ready to say, Aaron, I can't even look at his picture because he's one of the few people, you look at him and you can tell that he's just a progressive shill. He's a giant douche.
He's just a douche.
He's a douche.
Got him in the face.
When people, and this would be the parents and of the school, not just of this child, but of everybody else, express their concern about what had happened. He turns around and says basically that they crossed the line. The parents and everybody that are coming to him, they're outraged about this. They've crossed the line with their calls and emails.
While I know this tragic incident has become part of a national political debate, I want to remind community members that the lives of real students have been forever affected, Smith said in an email Thursday morning. While many have chosen to engage civilly in the conversation, far too many have crossed the line with racist, xenophobic calls and emails. MCPS is working with law enforcement to identify those who are making threats towards our students and schools. This behavior will not be tolerated in our community.
Translation: if you've got a problem that two illegal immigrants have crossed over into our country and have raped a 14-year-old child, then you are a xenophobe and you are a racist.
You know what? Tucker Carlson actually pointed it out. It says in the same article right afterward that Tucker Carlson pointed out to Dr. Jack R. Smith, the worst crime imaginable is not sexual violence against a child, but naughty language he considers intolerant. What Tucker obviously was saying there is that Dr. Smith is trying to say that the tragedy here really is apparently in what these people are saying, and quite frankly, F you, Dr. Smith.
Guess who's not on my Christmas card list this year?
Yeah,
this guy.
I have edited myself so well tonight. I deserve a participation trophy.
Bravo.
Lifetime Achievement Award to me.
Move over, Chelsea Clinton. We've got a new one.
Yeah.
And this guy. Oh, and you notice, I love how Tucker Carlson turns around and threw in the middle initial.
Yeah.
It's kind of like getting called out by your mom. You know, when she turned around and used your middle name, you knew you were in trouble. And that's exactly what's happened here. I mean, seriously, how can you honestly, as a superintendent over a school district, go, I'm sorry, I know this sucks that this poor girl got raped, but you people have a problem with racism and xenophobia. Shut up! Oh, God, help me, please. My head hurts. It hurts so bad. These people, and not for nothing, y'all, we elect these people. And this is what kills me. And this is what I'm gonna spend the last couple minutes. We've got about 3 minutes left. Guys, I know that the news and I know that politics gets boring. You get out of the minutia of stuff, and it literally makes you want to slam your tongue in a car door. It gets so boring. People twist things. You get tired of the BS. You get tired of these little details that you really don't know about, and in some cases really don't affect you. But what you people do is they take that and they expand on it. And they go, well, that covers here, so we're going to spread that across the entire political spectrum. And, I don't vote because it doesn't make sense. Or I don't vote because everybody's crooked. But nobody wants to stop and change it. And this right here, this douchebag is where you start to change your country. Not the presidency, not your senators and congressmen, though that is a big one. You can't change anything if you can't change what happens around you. Who cares what the president tries to do? Who cares what the government as a whole tries to do? If you can't handle something close to home, who cares? I mean, the perfect example of that is look at the whole thing with weed. Weed in the United States is illegal. It's a federal crime for the possession and the use of marijuana. Okay? What is it? Washington? Colorado? I'm forgetting other states. They have
California.
Is California done? Okay.
Michigan now.
Okay. They said we don't care. And they get away with it. And the government lets them do that. But how is that any different? I mean, they went around it. Change the law. It's still breaking the law. I don't. Oh, it makes my head hurt so bad. This is how you fix your community. This is how you fix. This is the start. You can't just expect the president and your congressmen and your Senate people to be it. It starts with you, and it starts with your school system. It starts with your people who run the trash line and you know, all the irritating stuff that makes absolutely no sense. The stuff that you don't care about. The stuff that, guess what? We take for granted. We can't keep taking for granted anymore. We can't. Because otherwise you have crap like this, where this douchebag, Dr. Jack R. Smith, turns around and blames everybody else because this girl got raped. Or excuse me, he doesn't blame them for it. He blames them for the reaction, which is a normal reaction.
Yeah. Well, he's focusing on the absolute wrong thing. Something tragic like this happens, and he wants to point at the political correctness of how people are reacting to it.
Yep.
No, that's
I don't. It literally makes my blood boil. It makes my blood boil. I can't accept it. I can't swallow it. I can't. It drives me insane. Oh, I don't know. I need to go do something. I need to go decompress. Folks, thank you so much for listening. We are the Defenders of American Exceptionalism. We find us on Facebook. I'm sorry, these guys got me so heated up. I had to think. You can find us on.
You can find us on Facebook at Defenders of American Exceptionalism. You can also find us on Twitter at DOA Show. You can find Dylan at Dylan Lyles. You can find myself, Aaron, at AFVETTE03.
Guys, appreciate it. Have a good night. Bye bye.